up? It's your girl Kim Ray, and I'm back with another review on Married to Medicine LA. And this is Kim Ray Music TV. I said that all out of order. If you guys are new here, make sure you subscribe down below to my channel, like the video, share the video, and comment down below on what you thought about this week's episode number 3, honey, and it was good. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so Dr. Braden is enjoying her last weekend with her family. You guys know that she does the whole bi-coastal thing. Her kids and her husband live in Orlando, Florida, while she is living in LA as an anesthesiologist, and they're trying to transition. Now remember, they are veterans, okay? Which means they are used to being away from each other, long distance type of thing. You know, one is deployed, one is stationed here, one stationed there. It's a thing that we do in the military that's very normalized, okay? But she's ready to move her family. She's ready to move her family, her kids with them. The only issue is, you guys know in the South, houses are way cheaper than California, New York type of places. Okay, you get a lot more for your buck. I know here in Texas, we're looking at houses that if we were looking in California, we'd be getting a shack versus here like a mansion. A mansion, okay? I know it's mansion. But so that's what Dr. Braden's husband is saying. You know, he's like, you know, our house in Florida is just like 6 bathrooms, 10 rooms, and I don't remember what he said, but getting a look at it, I'm like, I see why you don't want to leave too, my brother. This place is nice. But Dr. Braden's like, you know, we could find something like that here. We don't have to, you know, just keep doing this whole thing just because you're afraid we won't be able to find something. So they're probably gonna be looking in Calabasas or whatever, but you know, that means longer of a commute for Dr. Braden, but that's fine because her husband says he wants to live outside the city limits anyway. So it's like they're trying to get that yin and yang. They're trying to get that compromise going. And it's refreshing to see it about something that's not tearing them apart. Okay, they're trying to figure out how to work better as a family unit and become one in one space. Okay, so that's refreshing to see. Let me get on with my notes here. So Asha and Larry, y'all, I thought it was so cool that Asha has seen my video on Instagram and she commented on it, and she wanted y'all all to know that just like we found out this episode, Shanique did tell her that old girl was gonna be there, but she didn't appreciate the powwow, and that's what I was saying. Now she wanted to let me know on Twitter tonight that she was not mad about it. Let's make that clear. But she did feel like a powwow was unnecessary, and yeah, that's where Shanique was out of line, but we're jumping ahead. Asha and Larry are going to talk to a doctor about having a baby, and you know, Asha is 39, so she has some concerns, and the doctor basically tells them they need to be having sex unprotected for 5 to 6 days in a row. And I said, whew. The thought of unprotected sex just blows my mind, okay? Because, you know, all our lives we hear about protected sex, protect yourself, condoms, birth control, all of that. And then when you get married, even after, see, they've been married for a while, or they've been married. And so even after that, it's like, okay, now at this point we want kids, so now I'm going to stop the birth control. I don't know if I could do that. Me and my birth control are like this, okay? I don't play about my birth control. It is there. It is there and fair and near and far. It is there, okay? So to hear Asha say she was going to stop taking her birth control, I was just like, ooh, honey, by choice? Ooh, wee. But, you know, I understand they're trying to have a baby, but I just could not. Just hearing the doctor say have unprotected sex was just like, this don't sound right in my mind. But yeah, they're sitting there talking about that, and you know, Larry's getting excited obviously because they're gonna be having all this sex. One thing I want to ask is, Asha, is that your real hair? Because it is beautiful. Okay, we saw it with the curls, we seen it in the confessional, we seen it half up, half down, we seen it with the braid at the brunch, and it's looking natural. And if it's not, I need to know what kind of hair it is. Okay. Yeah, and I guess Asha's supposed to be on Star this coming week, so we'll be looking out for that. So Asha's a big deal, just so you know. I like Asha, okay? Y'all, Shanique and Robert are messy together. They deserve each other. Robert's a very small man, okay, but he's a man of lots of words. He got a lot to say and lots of tea to spill. That ain't he. The two, they go out for date night, and, you know, Shanique is discussing with Robert how she didn't feel there was anything wrong with inviting Anissa, and Robert is saying he didn't feel like that either because she's like family, and Then he decides to tell us that there was some overlap in their relationship, that Larry was with Asha, and then they took a break, and then he started talking back to Anissa. And I said, you know, the husband is just as messy as the wife. Because if the husband knew his wife, he would have known that she was going to take that bone and carry it on to the next place, Sheree. And so if he knew his wife, he would not have told her that. So because he told her that, now it's out there. So I'm going to go ahead and deduce that the husband's messy too. Y'all see how I did that? If 2 + 2 = 4, then Robert plus Shanique is a cleanup on aisle 5. Okay. So I don't know why, but I know in the next episode we gonna see. Dr. Imani and her husband are so refreshing to me. Just black love enthusiasts. I mean, when I seen them greet each other in the kitchen, and it was just like, it wasn't one of them little quick pecks. It was like clearly like love each other, sensual. I love her personality. I love her couth, her realness, her rawness, her blunt. I just love it. I love Dr. Imani. She can do no wrong to me yet. Okay, but they are talking, you know, Dr. Imani's talking about reconnecting with her father. And we all have this thing, right? Because as we become older and successful, we want to reach back. We want to learn about ourselves more. We want to know about our family that we don't know about. To better understand ourselves, we want to know about our fathers, okay? But the thing about that is a lot comes with that, right? When you open up the can of worms, you have to be prepared for maybe somebody not being so receptive. Maybe somebody giving you answers that you didn't want to hear. How you're going to feel about that? Are you going to need time to sift through it? Are you going to be able to handle it? Okay, sometimes we overestimate the fact that you want all these things to be cool, but then people have feelings, people have reasons that don't line up with yours. And so that's what Dr. Imani's husband was telling her. Just be ready. Take it for what it is. Don't be expecting him to give you stuff that, you know, that you're waiting for, that you're wanting from trying to hear from him. And sure enough, she texts him about meeting up, and he says that he'll have to think about it. And that's what her husband's concern was. He was just like, you know, he just doesn't want to have to. He will do it. He's down for her, but he doesn't want to have to watch her wait on him to come around, so to speak, like the daughter always waiting to get ice cream with her dad, or waiting for a birthday card from her dad, you know, that type of thing. So I respected that he was being honest with her in saying, you know, I'm with you, but also hear me say now that I don't think this is a good idea. I do not believe that people should just be silent because what you're saying they don't agree with. I believe they should speak their side of it and still choose to be supportive in a, like, equally, like with no attitude, with no like told you so type of attitude. Just be there and offer me what you think when I ask for it, when I enlist for it, right? Okay, so I love Dr. Imani and her husband. They're just, I love it. Jasmine is having a brunch, a Barbie brunch, Barbie themed brunch. Jasmine, we find out Jasmine is Persian and black, just like Dr. Braden is black and white, I think. And you know, so we have these racially ambiguous girls on here, and so this leads into a black girl magic type of conversation that I was living for at this brunch, but I'm going too fast, right? So Shanique arrives first, and they are getting everything set up. Everything is hot pink and balloons and really girly, and you know, we live for a brunch, right? And so she's invited all the girls, and Dr. Imani, Asha, Braden are more like how I would have been, okay? I'm girly, but I'm not girly to the Barbie doll, cutesy type of stuff. I'm more sassy. You know, I like Beyonce versus, or Beyonce Rihanna versus like Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? I like to be a little edgy, okay? And Dr. Imani was like, I ain't dressing up as your Barbie. That would have been me. So one thing I will say, you know, Shanique and Jasmine, they are getting little things together, and Shanique says that she's gonna take the high road and she's going to ignore Asha. That is not the high road, Shanique. Shanique, the high road is letting Asha know your intentions weren't bad. As soon as she walks in, hey, my intentions weren't bad, so great to see you, hope we can patch all this up, whatever. Or just choosing to be polite towards her and wait to have a conversation later. That is taking the high road. Okay, and you still didn't end up really ignoring her because you were still You guys got into a deep conversation about the whole black girl magic thing and beauty is more than just skin deep type of thing. And you actually ended up agreeing with a lot that she was saying. So your pettiness wasn't even needed. So the girls are arriving. Dr. Noel and this bun, honey, I was living. It was just perfectly round and sat taut on top of her head. Dr. Imani's head, whenever I see it, is just brown and just shining and just glowing. I didn't really like her shirt, but I liked that she's giving me, like she was saying, irritable black woman, and she's probably very irritated with all the cute stuff going on. Let me see who else. Jasmine looked good in her skirt. I mean, I thought it was a little hot out there. I know them legs. She's probably sweating. Let me see. Dr. Braden, that was a cute, kind of different dress, different hairstyle, but she was cute. Asha was cute. Everybody looked good. Okay, so we get down to this. Oh, Shanique. Shanique didn't do nothing special to me, and her hair is always the same, middle part, you know. So I don't know if she's gonna give us a different style as we go on, but I'm starting to see that that's always her hairstyle. She always looks the same. Okay, but nonetheless, a pretty girl. So we're getting started. They're introducing each other. We're having a seat. We're talking about the whole Barbie thing. Dr. Noel says that she was a little offended because she feels like the word Barbie, it's imagery and it's communicating the wrong thing. You know, most Barbies don't look like us. That was her whole message. You know, she had to teach her daughter that her beauty was more than just blonde hair, straight hair, blue eyes. It was more than all that. And she had to instill in her daughter that this Barbie doll here, because her daughter asked her, can you dye my hair blonde? And so Dr. Noel had to take all this time to take away what her daughter saw in this Barbie doll and reteach her and remold her. So with all that being said, she feels like a Barbie party only further contributes to this whole thing that Barbie is the epitome of beauty. Right, so Dr. Imani speaks on it, and hers is more on the whole like anorexia, bulimia thing, and how models look at Barbie as like the epitome of how a woman should look. And even Nicki Minaj calls everyone her Barbs, right? And so they get into that whole conversation. And then we get into the whole when girls were mixed and, you know, they didn't feel like they had a place that they belonged because they were always the lighter one in the group. And you see that Dr. Britton, her Marine mentality really sticks out. She knew that she looked different, but her mentality versus Jasmine's mentality, where Dr. Britton's like, yeah, I look different, but that's just what it was. I look different. And Jasmine's like, you know, people tease me and this and that. Dr. Britton is military. So she's used to being a woman, being a minority woman, and still having to prove that I can somehow live up and I'm equal to, if not better, than the rest of you guys around me, than the rest of you men around me. And I'm good enough to also defend my country. Jasmine may not have grown up in that environment or whatever. I don't know. Hers was a little different. Her story was different. So we kind of get this whole black girl magic thing going on where each woman is just like, you know, the Western culture does not appreciate black women in all of our many forms. You know, I've been the outsider, you've been the outsider, you know, whereas the Eastern culture, they appreciate us a bit more. And so, you know, you got Jasmine's mom there and Jasmine's aunt there, and then we see Jasmine's sister who looks nothing like her, who has like the natural hair, like short, kinky hair, who's chocolate skinned, and you know, Jasmine's more fair skinned, longer, looser hair. And it was just like, my heart was just like, black girls really do rock. Like, seeing all these black women as doctors, which is like the premise of the show, right? But it's so heartwarming to just see them. And then it was just so good to see them engaging in an intelligent conversation, telling their views about stuff that affects them all. They, you know, some of them have daughters or whatever, but just all having this conversation and how this one issue affects them all. And it was no fighting and none of that. Just in that small moment, it was just very, very good. Very nice to see. Okay, they do like a photo shoot where everybody walks down the runway and does like their own thing, because you guys know Jasmine does photography, right? Okay, and so that was the brunch, and the brunch was great to me. Now let's get to some more of the drama. So Dr. Braden, Dr. Imani, and Shanique meet up for dinner another day or later on, and they're just recapping on everything. And Dr. Imani says that Jasmine's house looked like a drug dealer's house. And, you know, I could already see that Shanique, who is Sheree, who is Carly Red, is going to carry this bone and make it sound like it was something that it wasn't. And Dr. Imani just is very blunt. She don't need to talk mess or hide nothing. And, you know, in the preview for the oncoming episodes, I want Jasmine to know Dr. Imani ain't the one, okay? So anyway, clearly she wasn't trying to be shady. She just was speaking her mind. Like, it looked like a drug dealer's house. And so, but this is where we find out that Shanique says, I told Asha ahead of time that the girl was going to be there. And so Dr. Braden, Dr. Imani, they feel like, oh, they shouldn't be as upset. But see, I don't think they knew about the powwow. And if they did, they should be upset about the powwow. I would be upset about the powwow because we know, we've already established she's going to be here. I can coexist, that's fine. But you're bringing it up as a topic of conversation, probably because this camera's right here. And so that part I don't appreciate, okay? So you guys let me know what you thought about Married to Medicine LA this week. I'm Kim Ray, and this is Kim Ray Music TV. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!